In the dark, I play my dreams. Permaculture flows like sweet streams. I'm the daddy with the know-how seed. Creating the world like it's meant to be. Permaculture, P-I-M-P, I'm the king. That's love in everything. Bringing change, making it last. Join the permaculture.
Welcome to episode 373 of the Permaculture Pimpcast, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. The only Pimpcast on planet Earth where we discuss permaculture, preparedness, and practical living.
Permaculture, P-I-M-P, with soulful grace. In the VIP scans where we find our place. We fly the earth, one fly at a time.
All right, y'all. Good to be here with y'all. This episode, as always, brought to you by Hickory Ridge Soap from TwoOldCrowsHomestead.com.
Turn that simp into a pimp.
Bam! Yeah. Harvest Stripe freeze dryers, y'all. It's that time of year where you're putting up the harvest. I mean, it's the harvest season, so you're putting up the harvest. And right now, things are booming, especially with the apples. Everything, you just tasted that.
That Ludacrisp. That Ludacrisp apple's the sweetest apple. It's I just took a bite of a slice and it left my lips sticky.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, that thing, I thought the Evercrisp was the best I ever had, but I'm now going to have to get I hate the name of this. I hate the name they came up with.
I like it.
You know, you hear Honeycrisp. I mean, you want to eat that. You hear Evercrisp. Okay, you want to eat that. I hear Ludacrisp. All I think is that idiot rapper out there. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know any of his songs. I just know he's an idiot. And that's all I know. So I wish they would have changed that thing to something else. But anyway, Harvest Right. If you want one, we got a link for them down below. They'll be in the comments below. I want to thank everybody that's here with us tonight because we are being heavily suppressed. Don't worry. I'll come to that in a minute. Oh, let's see who we got here live so far. Who's your pioneer? Lydia, Joshua, homesteading pastor, my man, Pastor Lon. He is in his house. And Oldman, of course. Everybody else coming in, please, if you would, hit that thumbs up. Not that it's going to make a difference on this live stream, but it's all good because our biggest audience by far is the audio platforms. So, well, everybody's probably wondering, how is it Williams in the studio with you? Well, how about that? And I'm hearing my grandbaby in the background. She is wearing Michelle out right now, y'all. They just got here a little bit ago. Just kind of got here within the hour, I think.
Yeah, we got here at like 5:15 or so.
Yeah, so it hadn't been very long at all. They showed up here, and we got a lot of things planned. Won't, for a whole bunch of reasons, won't go into all of that right now. But anyway, I do appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up. Tell everybody we're live so they can go ahead and start suppressing us. And speaking of suppression, I put out that video yesterday after having come back from the Healing for the Ages conference. And usually when I do a front porch talk in the old days, it was always quite popular.
Yeah.
And I did one this time, and we've been noticing ever since I went back to doing them, 100,000 views here. And then later on, less. And then people are reaching out to me telling me, hey, bro, I'm trying to respond on there. They're emailing me saying, look, I'm trying to respond, but I can't get through. And then other people, so the first time it happened, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's a glitch. And then it happens again. And then all of a sudden, people are responding on there, and they're not allowing me, even through YouTube Studio, I'm not even given the opportunity to respond to the people that have written comments on there. And then they just shut off the comments, the ability for anybody to make a comment at all. So,
and it's not because it's not it's not that these videos aren't popular either, because every time you do one of those videos, people keep saying, like, I like the front porch. They prefer it. Yeah. They love the front porch talks for the most part.
Well, it's not at all because the topic isn't hot or whatever the case. And that's really not why I'm doing it. I initially started it to get the things off my chest. I mean, as a cathartic thing, and also to talk to myself, to preach to myself and say, hey, bro, you're missing the ball on some of this stuff. Not all the time, but that's honestly what it was. So this time out, if you haven't seen the video, and I doubt you've had time to even look, this one was like, hey, before I even get started, y'all, I want you to do me a favor. I've never asked anybody to like my video, pass it on, or hype it, because that's a new option that they have on YouTube now.
Yeah, I didn't know about that till you actually told me.
Never even knew it until maybe a month ago. And then people were saying, hey, they're not allowing me to hype this video. And I'm like, what's a hype? So I get on there poking around, and then your mom had to show me what it was. And sure enough, I guess you can, hype a video and give it more outreach. And then all these people are emailing me, and I got a gang of them right now I haven't even had a chance to respond to yet. And they're all telling me, hey, they're not allowing me to hype it. I can't even write a comment on there. I can't even do anything. So they'll let me go for maybe a day, and then they shut it down. And the main reason I asked everybody to do that is that the next person, I know Mike Adams was one of them before, but the next person that does a class action lawsuit against one of these platforms, these tech platforms, that, by the way, is supposed to be a free commons, the next one that does that, I'm going to have all the evidence. And thanks to all of you out there, I'm able to put this thing together to let them know, hey, this is not at all a free commons. They shut off the comments. They don't allow people to converse. But I'm just counting on the good Lord to get it to the people that it means something to. And that's my biggest purpose. But it's an aggravation, because there are people out there, some of them I'm seeing right now in the chat, that have incredible, and Pastor Lon says, yeah, they won't let us hype your videos either. So, and there's a number of others saying the very same thing. Folks, I'm not out there asking, you look at what that video was about. I'm asking you, resort to the Lord, go to prayer. We talk about healing and stuff, and people saying, well, I'll pray for you. It's the least I can do. And I've said it many times before. It's the all you can do. Yeah. It's the most you can do. And so that was really what that video was about. I wasn't calling for, but meanwhile, somebody can get out there, do some idiotic asinine rap song about who knows what, or some scantily clad, whatever out there, and they promote that. But meanwhile, I'm trying to bring togetherness and asking people to get back to the Lord, especially in these times. And that's a video you want to suppress. But look, it's not about me. I'm just counting on the Lord to get the information to the people that it might mean something to. And that's really the bigger encouragement there. So I know what they're doing, and I want to thank all of you out there for letting me know, because now all of a sudden, the next person that does a class action lawsuit, I got all the evidence so far, and I'm going to keep gathering it. So in the future, anybody that can't respond, can't hype, can't do all the other things you're allowed to do in another video, let me know. And folks, I'll tell you the number one reason why they're doing it. I never use this word almost ever. It's a passive form of racism.
That's what I was going to say.
No, really, it is. And for me, racism, a racist is not what you've been told, folks. Racist is actually an acronym I came up with years ago when I was doing talk radio. When they call you a racist, what it really stands for is rational and constitutionally inspired, sensible thinker. That's what a racist is these days. So these people running these platforms, honestly, are racist when you get down to it, at least my definition of it. And the last thing they ever want you to see is a brown person like me going out there telling you, look, I don't believe their lies. I'm not believing the left or right. It's not red state. It's not blue state. It's the state against you. That's the last thing they want you to hear. Now, if I were doing an Officer Tatum and I'm in one camp, or I'm doing a whatever, and I'm in another camp, you get all the expression in the world. But when I'm telling people, hey, all these people are fundamental liars, every last one of them, and I bring the goods, they can't have you hear that, especially coming from a person like me, who historically is supposed to be on the left. I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm with the Constitution. If you're with that, I'm with you. So I'll just shut up about that. But I want to thank everybody for letting me know just how much they're doing the suppression, that they're not allowing things on this channel that they allow on others. And next person that does a class action lawsuit, I'm not doing it. I'm not even trying. I'm not asking for money. All I want is a fair commons, like you claim it is. But it isn't.
Just like, I'm not looking for equal outcome, just equal opportunity. Just leave us alone.
Well, don't shut down the comments when okay. So that one video I did, I think it had 300 comments in there, 300. And historically, you kind of know when you do this long enough, you kind of know what that means in terms of your video. It stopped right at like 301, not another comment at all. And I'm like, okay, that's when I started saying, hold on. And I'm good at noticing patterns. Same thing happened the next time. Or they'll let it go for 24 hours and then they just shut it down. Nobody can respond. Nobody can even say anything. And people, the only reason I knew is because people were reaching out to me saying so.
Neil Merrick Blackwood just said he can't find the hype button on this right here, which I don't know if you can hype lives. Honestly, I don't really watch many lives.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Not unless it's folks I know, you know, I mean, and I just happen to catch them at the right time because folks, I'm running 100 miles an hour. I mean that. I really am. So,
and Double A, he wants to know, since I'm in studio, are you wearing pants?
Yeah, I got pants. Yeah, I got my family here, bro. Nobody sleeps naked in this house.
Despite what Dr. Group says.
Yeah. So speaking of which, both of us went to the Healing for the Ages conference, and it was a lot of wonderful, wonderful information in there. And I talked about it in that video. But folks, MD does not mean medical deity. I've said that over and over and over again. And we're going to go through and we're going to kind of give you guys the cliff notes of what we learned, but that's going to be the main topic. Believe it or not, it kind of fits with the name of the show. Everybody's thinking, man, what on earth are these guys talking about? Don't worry, we'll come to that in a minute. Don't worry, it's going to be rated G because I don't get into all that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting back, catching up on stuff. I mean, as soon as you got back home, you got on the first thing smoking out this way, didn't you?
Yeah, I just kept heading east. So we left. The conference was in Dallas, which is like 2.5 hours from me, and then picked up the wife and baby, fed the pigs, got things squared away from them real quick, and then we hit the road. So yeah, it was drop dad off at the airport, pick up wife and baby, and then just kept on going. Which when you have a baby, if it was just me, I would have made it here, or just me and my wife, then I would have made it here, you know, just all in one trip. But when you have a baby, you're not doing that, even though this is the best road trip she's ever been on. Like, she's getting older. She actually knew what we were doing and where we were going. So she was excited this time, but she didn't fuss. She wasn't crying at all. She did fantastic.
She's running up and down them stairs like it's good. She's going to wear your mom plumb out. I mean, she's running up and down them stairs. And of course she's, you know, watching her. She's doing it. I don't know what it is with kids and stairs, but I guess I was the same way too when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Anyway, other things, folks, I want to point out something else. I was going to do a video about this, but I was like, I don't know how it will edify anybody. On the way out there, folks, because I do everything I can to avoid flying, y'all. Everything humanly possible to avoid flying. Well, I did on this one. So I flew out there. And folks, I'm going to tell you the full extent of how much of our freedom we have actually lost. I mean, if you haven't flown for a while and then you have to jump on a plane, you ain't even going to believe what this is like. So you get up there, go through the check-in or whatever. Okay, so I got the electronic tickets, which, man, I barely know how to make a phone call with this stupid thing, much less, you know, use it for electronic tickets. So I was able to figure that part out. So I run in there. The girl sees I need help. She says, "You want some paper tickets?" I said, "Yes." So I said, "Yeah, can you give me some paper tickets?" And then I got a bag that I can carry on because I'm not checking anything if I can help it. So I get up there, and this is leaving out of Asheville, and it was a direct flight to Dallas. So I leave out of, I get on the plane, I didn't even get on the plane yet. I'm going through the TSA line, and I'm getting up there. This is dark 30. Had to get up, I think, 3:30 in the morning just to get there with the 2 hours ahead of time that they want. Anyway, long story short, you get up there, and I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. "Sir, look into this thing." And I'm like, "What is that thing?" And they're telling me, "Oh, well, you know, it's a retina scanner." I'm like, "I ain't getting up in there."
That's insane.
I'm like, "What? And so the guy says, "Show me your real ID." I said, "I thought they shot that down." I'm holding up everybody at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I thought they shut that down." I said, Christy Nome, you know, Botox Barbie. And that's exactly what I said. I said, "I thought Botox Barbie shot that down." And he said, and this guy starts breaking up his face. He says, "Look, you don't have a real ID?" I said, "No, I don't have a real ID. I got a driver's license. It's always been good. What happened?" And I knew at that point that they were going to require it, but I'm going to make them pay at this point.
Yeah.
So he says, "Well, if you ain't got a real ID, you ain't flying." I said, "Well, I got a passport." "Will that do?" Because I already knew the passport would work.
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah, that'll do." And so he gets up there, and then he waves to his buddy in the back. And I don't know what that signal meant, but it was clear that he waved to his buddy and then like did one like pointing to me. So I get up there, and now they want me to go through that naked body scanner.
Yep.
And I ain't going through that either. So I said, hey, you might as well bust out the gloves because I ain't going through that radiation machine. And then the guy tells me, look, there's more radiation in your cell phone. I said, no, you've been lied to, nephew. This is my world. I'm telling you, you are getting Kentucky Fried just being next to that thing. You can go ahead and work there if you want to, but I said, y'all can do what you want, but I ain't going through there. And at this point, I was a little bit irritated because I knew they were going to play games anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you may miss your flight. I said, you do what you got to do, but I ain't going in that thing. So I'm sitting over there. I'm making sure. Now, they got me off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So now I make myself a little bit of a nuisance because I realize, oh, they are going to try to make me miss my flight. Meanwhile, my stuff done ran through the scanner the whole 9 yards, and I'm standing right in the way so nobody else can get past.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all going to get me out of the way so I can get on my flight to get where I'm going. And so the guy says, sir, can you step to the side? I said, well, I'm waiting to get pat down. He says, well, you can wait over there. And so I keep asking questions. So I keep talking to this guy. So to shut me up, I'm making sure he gets me out of the way. I'm like, so, hey, do you understand what this thing is doing? And do you understand that you are, so I'm over here hitting and peppering him with questions. So finally, like, man, dude, just get this guy out of here. So he run me through. And of course, this was, when I say invasive, man, a grown man running your hands down the inside of my waistband ain't cool. I was pretty aggravated by it. And then I just caught myself for a minute. I was like, okay, all right, you know what's going on. So anyway, went in there. It was the same way on the way back. So I got there 2 hours early.
Hey, it's just an opportunity for them to find out not all men are created equal. That's the way I look at it. It's like, you're the one losing on this situation.
No, I mean, but no, there's something very dehumanizing about the whole process. You know, somebody patting you down as if you're a doggone criminal. When TSA, by the way, folks, has never caught a terrorist in their history, not one. And, you know, I was about to ask the guy, hey, do you know that 95% of all the bags that are checked on this plane are not even checked? So if you're a so-called terrorist, wouldn't you check the bag? You wouldn't walk on with it if you know full well they're going to run it through the scanner. 95% of all them bags getting on the planes, folks, are not even checked. This is just a dog and pony show. They know doggone. And did you know nobody checks anybody taking a private plane? So nothing's checked either way. It is slave training. And that's what I was sitting here. So these guys, you know.
Damn Low Music says it ain't gay if it's TSA.
No, it's gay to me, man. And I don't roll that way. So I'm not having any of it. So anyway, it was the same way on the way back. On the way back from Dallas, of course, I've never seen a human being in my life love to put her picture and videos up more than Kristi Noem.
Yeah.
Botox
South Park did a funny video about her.
I don't watch any TV, so I don't know nothing about it. But Botox Barbie, Kristi Noem, aka Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. I'm coming back on Dallas, and she's got her mug up on the screen. I'm like, could they pump any more Botox into this woman? And you know, it's funny because her face doesn't match her body. It's like she's so pumped up with the Botox. Then when I saw her in a video on X or something, you couldn't hit this woman with a handful of corn. And I'm like, man, I mean, I'm like, how has this happened? I mean, how do you, I don't know what's going on. That's what happens when you have a lot of augmentation, I suppose. But anyway, same thing on the way back, went through the same nonsense all over again. And I said, man, unless there is a profound reason, I am not getting on this plane. And now they're going to demand this real ID. Folks, I'm not trying to derail this show, but honestly, I'm so aggravated by what's going on with this country and nobody cares. We lost. And then they're telling us, oh, you don't have to take your shoes off anymore, but you're taking retina scans.
Yeah.
And by the way, they made me take my shoes off both times. So explain that one. Everybody's saying, oh, we shouldn't even have had to take, if you knew Craig Haskell, the guy, the so-called shoe bomber, he was a lawyer. He blew the story open. He was on the flight of that so-called shoe bomber and talked about how the guy was brought onto the plane, how he didn't pass through their version of TSA in whatever country, wherever it was, and how this person from whatever got him on that plane. The whole thing was one giant sham. And then Michael Chertoff made a fortune on those naked body scanners and is probably still making a fortune. Folks, it's all smoke and mirrors. The war on terror is I'm just going to tell you straight. It's coming from your government. Never heard that before? I can write the definitive work from the top of my head as to how this is going down. I'm going to change the topic because
real quick, did you have any issues flying out of Dallas?
Yeah, same exact thing. And the guy told me the same exact thing, word for word. Your cell phone's got more. And then guess what? He just got a dissertation right there. I'm like, as a matter of fact, it does not. I said, this cell phone is awful for you, but you're working around this thing. And by the way, yes, it is. If it is able, just use your common sense here, like I'm telling the guy. If it is able to see under your clothing, okay? If it has that capability to see under your clothing, I mean,
how's that worse than or how's that better than a cell phone?
Yeah, show me the improvement on that.
No.
And this hoople-headed Marchie, man, there was no convincing him. A little fruitcake, I guess, wanted to see some naked whatever going through there, but he ain't checking me out. And I'm like, break out the gloves, because I ain't. That's why I'm early, Jack, because you ain't putting me in that thing. No way, no how. Ain't gonna do it. Your cell phone. I said, I guess they trained. That's what I told him. I said, I guess they trained y'all to say that, because no, it does not. And I said, ask me how I know. This is my field, bro. I said, you want me to tell you how it's harming you? And he didn't say another word.
Yeah.
And then I asked again. I said, honestly, do you want me to explain to you point by point how being in the presence of this thing is harming you and your family and your future progeny? You want me to tell you how it's doing? He didn't want to hear none of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, man, as far as I know, I was the only one that said no to this thing, but I know there's others out there. Anyway, another thing, as I was flying into Dallas, I want to point this out too. Everybody's saying, well, they stopped chemtrailing, which you've talked about at numerous times.
They haven't stopped chemtrailing. Okay, I don't know about the other states, because I haven't gone outside of the state, I don't think, to do a consultation after the government shut down. But in Texas has its own weather. It's a TWA, Texas, or is it TWMA? It's Texas Weather Modification Association. But it also includes other states as well. Like, I think it includes Kansas. I think it includes Arkansas, maybe. But they haven't adjusted anything. It's still sprayed every single day, constantly.
Well, I can tell you, when I left North Carolina, we had a good solid week of limited chemtrails. Okay, I can at least go out there and get a little bit of sunlight. When I flew into Dallas, y'all, what day was that?
You flew in Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. When I flew into Dallas, I kid you not, there was streak after streak after streak as we were landing in Dallas Fort Worth. I could look out the window, look up, and see chemtrail after chemtrail going like crazy. And then there's this pocket where there's nothing. And then below that are like the regular chemtrail clouds. You go below that, we did not see the light of day the whole time there. And I'm not even sure anybody even noticed.
But that's typical. In East Texas, it's been consistently hazy. Like there hasn't been a clear blue sky since we've been there. It's always been like the bluest you'll get is still hazy.
Yeah. That's what they're doing in a lot of different places. And people think the hazy sky is blue.
Yeah.
When the bluest blue you ever saw was right here in North Carolina after that engineered hurricane. Yes, it was engineered. Speaking of engineered hurricanes, folks, I wish I had queued it up before I got on here. I got off the phone a little while ago with one of those intrepid researchers out there named Ariana Masters. She's a friend of mine. And if you haven't checked out her, well, I don't know how much of a footprint she has on YouTube, but she works primarily she just got on X a little while ago, and people are starting to gravitate to her work, and also on Instagram, which I don't really care to go on Instagram a whole lot because there's a lot of low dopamine morons on there. And honestly, you know what I hate most? You know what I hate most about Instagram, honestly?
What?
Is the writing. It's almost like cartoon 80s writing. And I'm like, this is an insult to my intelligence to even put the font that
like
they use.
Like the subtitles or
no,
like the caption?
The font that they put on there, at least on my phone, that's what pops up. Anyway, I see these low dopamine morons that are on there. I'm like, man, this is not for me. In fact, most of these platforms, I'm trying to limit myself as much as I can. Anyway, Ariana has a big footprint over there, and she's one of those people that is an absolute intrepid researcher, especially when it comes to weather modification. And she does a whole lot when it comes to the radar and how they're using it and how they combat multiply the chemtrails or geoengineering, whatever you choose to call it, and use it in conjunction. So every time you see them ripples in the sky, you know that the next red radar towers are working overtime. So called her up today, had to ask her about something because she's going to be one of our MCs for the event that we have coming up, the Sovereign Health Summit, with Barbara O'Neill headlining that thing. That's going to be up here in North Carolina next year, and people are blowing me up trying to get vendor spots and stuff like that. People just can't believe that we got the price so doggone low.
People were like head over heels at the Healing for the Ages conference when they found out about the Barbara O'Neill event.
Yeah,
it's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting, and we're taking the mistakes of every other or every other just like festival we've been to, and you guys have like fixed it. I think it's
think so. What the idea was, if you're a vendor, like, we're not going to charge you thousands of bucks for a vending booth. Vendors always, and I've been in that position before, vendors always get the shaft when it comes to stuff like this because they charge a pile of money. And then also when you got Barbara O'Neill, yeah, you can command $1,000 a head. I wouldn't feel good doing any of that. So we charged as low as we possibly could for 5 days for $250. Just stay tuned, y'all, because I'll give you a discount code here before long. We're already as low as we can make it, but we're going to knock another 5% off.
Okay.
You know, when the time comes, it'll be promo code PERMA or something like that. But honestly, the vendors couldn't believe that we're charging so little when I'm like, just because you can make more money. Look, the thing that burned me up about the last one, man, there's a whole lot of people reaching out to me, and I know how tough it is putting bread on the table. There ain't a person listening to my voice right now that ain't struggling putting bread on the table.
Yeah.
So if I can offer a really awesome event, now you ain't going to be sitting inside. It's going to be an outdoor event, but it is covered from the rain and whatnot. You're going to be sitting on wooden benches. Okay, if that's what I got to do, as long as we're not spending a fortune out here trying to rent the Hilton.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you want the Hilton, then I got to charge another $300 that are listening to this and the people we've run with. Look, man, if you can't deal with a little bit of Spartan conditions, man, to go out there and hear good information, I don't know what to tell you.
But it's not even Spartan conditions.
No, it's not.
It's North Carolina. This is like some of the most mild climate, winter and summer you can find. It's going to be very, very comfortable. You might bring like a light jacket, or I mean, my wife will probably bring a little blanket. Well, probably not, because she's going to be chasing the baby around constantly, which will be nice and warm. But yeah, October, that part of North Carolina, it's going to be like perfect weather.
Yeah, it's going to be real nice. But we wanted to make this thing as affordable as we possibly can, and make it affordable and not fleece all the people that are coming in there, and also give folks time to go out there and spend time with the vendors, because we're bringing in vendors that are going to be a blessing to you. Anyway, I said all that to say that I called up Ariana because she's going to be our MC for the event. If you ever go check out her YouTube or any of the stuff you do that she does, you're going to realize why she's one of our MCs. Because she knows the topics well. She knows this information in and out. And honestly, she just has the great personality to do this. She's telling me about, when I said, speaking of weather modification, Ariana is looking into this thing that's going on in Jamaica. You should see her latest, folks. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out. Her latest thing on Jamaica, how they've been the last 4 storms right before this thing hits landfall. You'll have to go check it out, folks. It's her last video. Right before this thing hits
her latest
video. Yeah. Before this thing hits landfall and the last 4 hurricanes or more, all of a sudden the government shuts down all of the radar that tracks it. You know why? Take a guess why, son.
So we can't watch it? So we can't see what they're doing?
Exactly. So we can't see what they're doing with these ground-based, ship-based, and space-based systems. So all of a sudden, this thing was a regular hurricane. Now it ramps up to Category 5 during the time they turn off the cameras.
What a coincidence.
4 hurricanes in a row. So I call up Ariana asking her about this festival, trying to solid everything down, making sure she's able to do it. And next thing I know, I'm like, okay, hey, your mom tells me, hey, she did a video on that thing in Jamaica. I'm like, what's going on in Jamaica?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
I had no idea, but there's like Cat 5 coming down on Jamaica right now, which, by the way, folks, when something like that happens, look at the other hand. Look at what they're not talking about. Because I guarantee when they engineer a storm like this, and I'm going to say right now, I haven't even looked at all the evidence, but You're telling me it's a coincidence that between all these storms, they shut down all the radars so we can't see what was happening?
All of them are fake now. Yeah. All storms at this point are fake because they're not that they're fake, but they have all been manipulated to some extent. Even if they didn't directly manipulate a specific storm, there's a butterfly effect to messing with the weather. So, and it's like what is it? Like a 5-year, like if I do it once, there's going to be a 5-year ripple effect or something like that.
That's right.
That's doing it once. We've been doing it consistently since the 1890, really.
Well, Dane Wigington said when I had him on this show, and I talked to him privately, he and I are friends. Dane Wigington, if for folks that don't know, geoengineeringwatch.org, the world's foremost expert on this sort of thing. Nobody better, not even close. And Dane, he's like, dude, there is not any weather that we have right now that's organic. None of it is. It's all engineered at this point. And yes, people that tell me, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, you believe that we put a man on the moon, but you don't believe we have the ability, even though we got the patents for it. Like Dr. Jack Kruse says, it's not a conspiracy theory if I can take you to the patent.
Yeah.
Patent. There's a lot of them out there, okay? There's a bunch of patents out there. So for these people, and some of them just blow my mind, I'm like, it is right here. Okay, that polecat Lyndon Johnson openly admitted that we had the ability to do it back in 1964.
I mean, go to geoengineeringwatch.org, go to their document section, and they have patents. They have they have all the information, and you can look at the patents, and you can even like look at some of the early ones, and they were like genuinely trying to do good with them at first. At least the people who were filing the patents, it looks like.
Right.
And then you can see, just watching the patents, just looking at the patents, you can see it like develop into really nefarious activities and pretty quickly. Now, another thing that I noticed with the patents is, tell me if this is a coincidence, but the patents from 1890 to about 1930, pretty hit and miss. Like they're here and there, not very many. And then 1940 hits and it blows up, and then 1950 and it skyrockets, and then the 60s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, it's like it came out of nowhere. I wonder what potentially German scientists were working on our geoengineering I guess manifesto or whatever.
Okay, well tell anybody about that. Tell them that we took under Operation Paperclip all the Nazi scientists and brought them, and there's Annie Jacobson wrote a book on it. And it escapes my mind right now, talking about all the Nazi scientists that we brought under Operation Paperclip. Folks, don't believe me. And guess who? Everybody we didn't get, the Russians got. And all the Japanese scientists, nobody ever talks about them. All those guys were also included in there. We brought them all over, and instead of working for the Nazis, we had them working for us. And honestly, if you just check out the work of people like Dr. Anthony Sutton, you'll realize that everything you think you've been told about World War II, and this is coming from their own documents from the Hoover Institute, everything you think you know about World War II, folks, I'm telling you, is a manufactured lie. And he proved it. And when he came out with it, all of a sudden, he got marginalized. He got banned. So the people that are giving you the real truth out there, you're not going to find them on the mainstream. People that are telling you the real things about everything out there, folks, you're not going to find them. But look, we're going to drop it as long as we're able to right here, as long as the good Lord gives us the ability to do so. And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons that we have what's going on with this Sovereign Health Summit. The idea was to bring together, use Barbara O'Neill, who has great information, as a lightning rod to bring everybody together. Yeah. But at the same time, folks, I'm bringing in people that influence me, people that know something, because to my knowledge, nobody's ever put something like this together where you're mixing somebody like Barbara O'Neill, and then you have somebody like Dr. Henry Ely, who's going to be talking about another way to cure or heal yourself. And then you got people like Logan, you got people from Matt from Cultivate Elevate, people that are talking about healing modalities that I guarantee many of you do not know about. Most of them free.
Yeah, most of it is like choices. Like you make decisions.
Like getting up in the morning and looking at the sunrise. Folks, I literally look at the sunrise when I can see it just by being outside. It sets your circadian clock. You cannot heal You cannot heal if you don't do some of these basic things. But these are things that Barbara doesn't necessarily cover. She may tell you, but Logan's going to give you the what for and the how and all that other stuff. You're going to hear Dr. Lee Merritt talk about things. If I were to bring up the word right now, they would shut this feed down, folks. That's how we'll call it living water, okay? World's foremost expert on so many different things. That's exactly why we're doing all this. Seriously, folks, that's the biggest reason, is to bring all these people into one spot where I've been looking at I'm like, okay, who has moved the needle biggest in my life? Who has been able to do that? Oh, I got an idea. Let's bring them all in one place. We got Barbara, and I'm like, okay, she's a lightning rod to get everybody there. Now, while you're there, you're going to hear about some other folks that even Barbara doesn't even know about, and how you can heal yourself. And that's why this latest conference from the Healing for the Ages conference, the subtitle of it was "Make Yourself Healthy." Again, instead of Maha, which is ha, it's a joke. It's MyHa, make yourself healthy again. And so we're going to give you some of those cliff notes on it. And
it was an awesome conference. David Zimmerman said, "Get Uncle Jack there."
That's exactly what we're working on. So if we can get the seed money, because to get Jack Cruz there, first of all, I already know that he is going to eviscerate anybody else that's on that stage. So that's the plan for next year, is to get Uncle Jack there. That's exactly the plan. Have to go down there and visit him, I think, in El Salvador first. But anyway, we're going to get this year Barbara O'Neill, or next year, actually, 2026 is going to be Barbara O'Neill. And then after that, provided we still have an operational country, the next one is to get Jack Cruz. And basically, if you listen to Sowing Prosperity podcast, the guest that he has on that show is who we're going to try to bring into the next conference. So now you can take all that stuff you learned there, combat, multiply it into the things you're going to learn here, and you're going to realize, oh my goodness, I could do this? You mean getting up in the morning looking directly at the sun is good for me? You mean not wearing sunglasses ever is great for me? Getting myself away from blue light when I'm not supposed to have it is wonderful. Folks, that's exactly what I'm trying to get everybody to realize. So that's exactly what this festival is all about. All right, y'all. Redmond Salt, 15% off with promo code PERMA. And then don't forget about Richardson Nutrition. That's another one I'm going to be bringing into this conference. Folks, there was a guy named John Richardson. It was his dad, John Richardson Sr. His son now runs the company after they killed his dad. And he figured out, and I can't even mention this subject. I can't even mention what it is. But if you go to Richardson Nutrition, you can get 10% off with promo code PERMA. But there is a substance, and it's called Bravo 17. You're going to have to see between, just go to the website and it'll stick out to you. Or there are seeds out there that contain this substance it begins with A. G. Edward Griffin wrote a book called A World Without Cancer. That's what he's talking about here. So anybody that consumes these very inexpensive things, and I do it every single day. In fact, I was doing it right down there when I was eating dinner earlier.
Yeah.
You take these, I got to be very careful about this. Anyway, go to the website and you'll find out what I'm talking about. Perma will get you 10% off. In fact, I need to get John Richardson back on here because there's a whole lot of people dealing with turbo cancers that maybe don't have to. Just by taking,
say C.
Yeah, the Turbo C, that are dealing with these things. Hey, thank you very much, Bill Zegley. I didn't know you were in the house. Yeah, I wasn't looking at the chat. Yeah, Bill, if you go to the chat, he put it in there. Son, where are you going?
Oh, well, he made a comment earlier that I meant to bring up.
Yeah, so I didn't say it, but it's on the screen right now. So Bill knows what time it is. Anyway, that's one of the things you can get at Richardson Nutrition. All right, y'all. With that said, we are going to go into, I was going to go into the good news section, but right now, I kind of went a little long in this segment. I was going to talk about, I'll just kind of skip through it real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time there.
Well, hey, real quick before you get into that, about the festival, William Zegley wants to know if Shane the man is going to be there. I'm hanking for some of his ball and dishes.
Oh yeah. I'm going to have to talk to Shane. He texted me I think it was yesterday, but I was in transit, so I didn't really get a chance to look at it. But Shane is right now in Pennsylvania. He's operating out up there, but I think with the right inducements, I think I can convince Shane to come down because there's going to be a whole lot of people there, and I want folks eating the best food possible. Mm-hmm. Boy, that was one thing they had super on point. We'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, we definitely want Chef Shane down there, along with a number of others where folks can get good, awesome food, man. That's one thing where you go to, man, there's nothing more aggravating to me than going to some of these festivals and all they got is just hot dogs, man, or, stuff you don't really want to eat in the first place. I mean, I don't eat them here. I don't want to eat them there. So anyway, first good news article, dehydration fuels a mental crisis. New science links low water intake to 30% higher depression risks, 50% greater stress response. Okay. Real quick, I'm only going to cover this very shortly. This is one of the many things I knew but had confirmation of during this this Healing for the Ages conference. Just being in the presence of Wi-Fi and non-native EMF is dehydrating you, whether you like it or not, folks. That's why I drink a gallon of water every single day. That's why I take in a lot of salt in addition to that, because of that reason. You are being dehydrated like nobody's business, and you don't even know it's happening. So when you get into the drier parts, or like in that convention center that we were in,
oh yeah,
it's all conditioned air, and that only drags more of it out of you. So you're surrounded by everybody with a cell phone, Wi-Fi signals everywhere, and melanin helps protect you from all that. But you got to check out the work of Dr. Cruz to really get down to brass tacks on that. All right, and here's another one. Vitamin 2. Well, I guess I'm calling that good news because I just gave you the antidote, okay?
Drink more water.
Well, drink more water, take in salt, at least that's what I do, and remove yourself as often and ground as often as you can away from non-native EMF, which is going to be everything out there for the most part. Okay, vitamin D2 supplement may deplete more beneficial D3 levels, study finds. Okay, this is also going right back to Dr. Cruz's work. So where do you think you get the best vitamin D?
The sun.
Yep, just like Jack Cruz says, TINA. That's an acronym. It stands for There Is No Alternative. Okay, so you want to get the sun as often as you can, but maybe that's why they're trying to block it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then also, like, if they have complete control over the weather, then you're completely dependent on them as far as like food goes and all that stuff, because they have control over all of it. And if they destroy it enough and block out the sun enough, then you're left with just artificial growing situations, and then they'll have full control over that. But yeah, if you block out the sun, that causes a lot of issues in your health, and then also growing your own food.
Well, here's one good thing about it is that even on the cloudiest day, there's still some UV light getting through. And believe it or not, that's good for you. They're telling you it ain't, but it is. The good Lord made you exactly as you ought to be. That's why one of the worst things you can do is put on sunglasses. I'll maybe do a whole show on that in the future, or maybe get Logan back on here and talk about it.
And these aren't sunglasses.
These are not sunglasses. These are blue light blockers. Okay. You're not getting, the only time you get blue light in nature is midday. So why is every computer out there, even though we have the technology to not make them blue light? You ever ask yourself, why is your cell phone all blue light? Why is your computer all blue light? Now, there are ways to mitigate that to a degree, but one of them is wearing blue light blockers. But still, it's not perfect because your skin is still it has receptors on there that are giving it a mixed signal if you're taking in blue light at night. So we want to try to limit that as much as we possibly can. Anyway, the good news in this article, look, Dr. Cruz also talks about the worst thing you can do is take a vitamin D supplement. Look, you can go out there if you need it that bad. If you can't get the sunlight, folks, I got reptile lights up in here. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think they stay alive? You put a reptile light on them. And that's exactly what I got up in here. Okay. I use a Spurdy lamp, but you can do the same thing with a reptile light. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money to get it squared away. Sadly, it pains me that I even got to tell people about these other options.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to create artificial light for health.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if your vitamin D levels are off, folks, you're going to have a whole lot of other problems downstream. So that's why we talk about grounding. Look, I know this is permaculture, preparedness, practical living, but folks, what good is any of the other stuff if you can't maintain your health? That's why I'm going full steam ahead on all the stuff I'm learning, all the stuff we're doing, and how you can also apply it in your life. And then finally, scientists warn against solar engineering. This is good news. Dimming the sun could trigger climate chaos, famines, and global conflict. William kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. That in this article, they're basically, well, you said it earlier.
I mean, I didn't know you had that article pulled up.
Yeah, so all these scientists have come out and they're saying, look, whenever you screw around with things the good Lord put into place, you're having consequences downstream that you can't account for. And now they're doing it every single day around here. I mean, shout out in the chat, y'all. Let me know if you guys are getting beat up like we are here, but it's nonstop. I mean, Dallas, I didn't see the light of day once. Constant chemtrails.
Yeah.
And one cool thing was one of the vendors there, I bought his product a while back. It was airwaterhealing.com.
That's the best. I don't even know what to call it because it's not an air filter.
No, it's not. Filtersuck.com. But look, if you go there, put in promo code PERMA, you'll get a discount. I don't know what it is. I bought his product a long time ago when I knew that this thing worked. He even has the ones that you can put on your body and they clean up the air within your, the range of your body. You can put them in your car. They got little things you can put in your car.
It's not that it cleans up the air like a filter. What it does is like it drops the particulates in the air. Like it makes them heavy or something like that, or inert. Yeah, it makes them inert. And then it drops them. It's like it's destroying it with positive ions or something.
Yeah, he explains it in the little video that we did.
We got it on video.
Yeah, we got a little bit of video out there. Also got a video of Dr. Oh shoot,
you can't even say the name.
Yeah, I can't even say her name. I'll put it this way, y'all. You're gonna have to stay tuned. I'll let you know when it comes out. But Dr. Judy Micah, and that's as much as I can say, or they're gonna cut the feed. She's one of the. This is what we've come to, folks. It's really that. Anyway, I got an interview with Dr. Judy. She was sitting right next to me during the whole conference, and I had no idea. I was front row center, and there she is. I mean, a living American legend, the one who probably saved so many lives at the beginning of COVID, blowing the whistle at a great expense to her and her family as well. I mean, a lot of people around this lady have been murdered, and they tried to kill her too. So that's the kind of world we're living in right now. But anyway.
And again, we're not suicidal.
No, we are not. All right. With that said, look, y'all, I could go on and on and on about this stuff, but we can't have this podcast being forever and a day. So with that said, we're going to go to my man, Eric Sider.
Hey, Eric Sider here with your Pimpcast tip of the day. Today's tip, simping ain't easy. Instead of the food pyramid, we have a simp pyramid, with all the peasants at the bottom simping for either the pedophiles or the democrats, when they are just opposite sides of the same evil coin. It's unbelievable to me that people think anything will change with the next election, if we even have one, that is. It's like Stockholm Syndrome on steroids. The only thing that changes is meaningless bullshit. What never happens, we never get any of our freedoms back that were taken away, because they all serve the same master. The ruling class are all simping for Israel, who is simping for some giant Zionist demon, as far as I can tell, because there's no way you can convince me an actual flesh and bone human could be this evil. So what do we do faced with this giant pyramid of simping? Maybe we should start airdropping Hickory Ridge soap on all of DC to turn that presidential simp into a permaculture pimp. But the only way to get off the plantation is to create a new system, because you can't change a system you depend on. All this protesting makes for good TV, but it has changed nothing. What if that energy was directed towards installing community food forests? And the same goes for all you bootlicking ICE agents. Stop kidnapping moms and kids and go plant a fruit tree. Permaculture is a revolution disguised as gardening. Local food security is the foundation to stop being a simp and to start being a permaculture pimp, because we all niggas now. If you're in need of the Ballin' Us Permaculture t-shirts, the official pimp gear of the Pimpcast, or a permaculture consultation and design, a simple 30-minute video chat will set you up for abundance. Head over to ericsider.com, and for more information on my permaculture community group and how you can set one up in your own town, head over to permaculturefairoaks.org.
Dude, that is the biggest mic drop in the history of this program. The biggest mic drop ever in the history.
He said it exactly how I thought he was going to say it. It sounded exactly like I thought it was going to.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Dude, if there is a bow and a half, I mean, you know what I really love more than anything about this is that he showed that it's not left state, it's not left, it's not right,
yep.
It's not red state, it's not blue state, it's the state against you. And yes, Trump. I mean, dude, when you have Bryce, who's that MMA fighter?
Bryce Mitchell,
who was the biggest Trump fan in the world, just came out the other day, said, no, I cannot support this man anymore. And folks, look, I couldn't stand Biden. So the people who are all on board, you're playing in this left-right paradigm as if there's a dime's worth of difference between them. I don't know how many different shows we could have done at this point to show that there is no difference between a Republican and a Democrat. They're all working for Satan at the end of the day. That is honestly the biggest mic drop in the history of this show. He said it right there. And like I give him, look, not that I'm in any position to give anybody permission, but man, yes, we are all niggas now. I've said it before. And I'll say it again. Dr. Ely was on this show and admitted it. Look, y'all, all of it, without a doubt, there is no distinction. That's why I don't play this black-white nonsense. Never have. We are all equally worthless to the powers that shouldn't be, and they are doing everything that is not. Okay, if Trump's such a hero, okay, don't get me. You know, I'm going to say this one thing, and then I'm going to attempt to walk away from the topic. You're buying Argentinian beef. But we got farmers right here in this country down to their last inch of skin. And he gets up there and still you got people licking his boots.
Yep.
I don't even understand this. We got farmers that are practically extinct in this country. Practically extinct. And you're going to sit here and buy beef from Argentina?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
How many cows did I drive by on the way up here?
Yeah.
Like fields of cows, especially in Texas and in Tennessee and in Arkansas. Man.
Yeah, we're all, just like Cowboy Roy Rogers News and Clues says, yeah, we're all useless eaters at this point. That's exactly how they see us. So, you know what? Anybody that thought what Eric said was a bridge too far, sayonara, because I thought he was right on point. And he can keep on bringing the heat because I'm going to keep bringing it myself. Folks, I'm sick and tired of these meow men out there. I think you can read between the lines, as Steve Quayle calls them. I'm sick and tired of the meow men out there. Oh, well, at what point do you stand up? Are you hoping that they get to you last? I don't even understand it. Billy, I can't stand up. I got a wife and kids. That's the reason you ought to be standing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason you ought to be standing up right now. But I'm going to exercise some self-control because right now I could go on a 30-minute rant about the things that are going on right now in this country. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway.
Just so everybody knows, Eric has a YouTube channel. It's called Eric Cider, ERIC. It's actually linked down below, isn't it, in the description?
Well, yeah, if you want all those ball and shirts that everybody keeps asking me where to get, he's the one that comes up with those. That's his creation, and I endorse them all.
Send him praise for that one. That was awesome.
Yeah, buy his shirts, y'all. I'm telling you what, Eric is the man.
Yeah.
Boy, he not that. You talk. I could end this program right now.
He said it. He summed up everything we've said so far.
Yeah. Boy, that was a mic drop. I didn't even see it coming, folks. I don't listen to it until you hear it. I don't even know what he's going to say until I'm listening with all of you. Michelle may know, but she doesn't tell me, and I don't want to know because I want to have an honest reaction to whatever he said. So it's really I'm hearing it with you. So way to go, Eric, man.
Yeah.
I feel lucky to be able to call him my friend and, a good one at that. A fantastic, incredible loyalty, incredible man up one side and down the other, and a very, very selfless person. He's been such a blessing to my family.
He's the one that sent me to Jeff Lawton's. It was Eric. He's the one that made the connection and asked if I wanted to go. He's
one of those rare people that will do things without any thought of reward.
Yeah.
He does it without thinking, no, how do I benefit out of this? He doesn't even give that a thought. He's an extraordinary man. And like I said, I feel truly lucky to know him. I forget where I was going with all this. I was going to say one more thing.
We were going to get back on topic.
No, I was going to say one more thing before we got back on topic. Oh, shoot. I guess it ain't going to work right now. But anyway, let's get into what's really going to benefit everybody out there. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. But, dude, it honestly threw me so far out in a loop. Maybe I should start listening because I was like, I did not see any of that coming. Boy, it was something else. Anyway, we were at the Healing for the Ages conference, so I wanted to give you guys a brief synopsis of who we saw out there and some of the big takeaways that we got away with. Now, I'm going to start with... well,
hold on. Can we even say some of these doctors' names on here?
I'll tell you the ones we can.
Okay. I'll follow your lead on this.
Okay, yeah. Because there's some of these guys that if I say their name on here, or like Dr. Judy M., if anybody wants to put it in the chat, if you can, Micah, if you want to fill in the blank, go ahead and do it.
I think Bill Zegley has been.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Bill. All right, so Dr. Franson, he's a naturopath doctor out of California. He got up on the stage and he talked about, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis and I'm going to tell you, what we took away from it. You know what I found out? I wish I had my phone in this room right now, is that when you hold your phone and you're looking at that phone, you're looking at the screen, how many lasers did he say are coming off that phone back at your face?
Was it like 10,000 or something?
I forget how many laser
up in this top part right here. If you have your facial recognition on, that's what it is. But it's like the dots for the facial recognition.
Ask your mom what I did. I got back. I said, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Hand it over. I put some black tape over all that because it's shining right back in your face. It's doing facial recognition on everything you do. And then the EMFs these things are putting off. And there's a whole lot of charlatans out there. That's why I've been kind of, holding my powder as far as giving you solutions on some of that stuff. The best thing to do when I got to use it, try to make absolutely sure I'm grounded. So whatever EMF is coming off of it, a lot of it's going into the ground. And I'm also coming up with other mitigation strategies and working with other people. I wish I could tell you what it is, but I don't want to tell you because there's so many doggone charlatans out there that are selling things and I can't prove that they're working. So he seems to be a guy that has some information out there. He's actually working with me. I talked to him. I was able to actually talk to him privately. And when he heard about what we were doing out here in North Carolina, he's got some mitigation strategies that he thinks might be especially helpful for some of the work we're doing. So I'll let you know how that unfolds.
Now, also with him, he so the facial recognition, even after you you put it up to your face, you unlock your phone, it's still scanning it constantly if everything's on. But if you have an iPhone, you can go to settings and then you can go to the passwords and facial recognition. And then for it to be off, you can't just turn off facial recognition. Everything in that little section there, you have to turn off all of it. If you leave one of them on, it'll still be doing the whole thing constantly.
I ain't trusting it. No how. I'm covering that thing up with tape. I mean, as much as these idiots lie to me.
Careful though, because like this, I record YouTube videos on it.
Not facing that way. You're using the other. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, that tape can come off and on. I mean, if I had to do all that, but I'll have your mom film me or something, man. But I am not looking at. After he was done there, I was like, dude, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely done with it. So anyway, I put tape over that thing. Okay, that's number one. Dr. Sabine Hazen. I've been a fan of hers for a while. I first learned about her with an interview with Dr. Alexis Cowan and also with Dr. Jack Cruz. She is one of those intrepid doctors out there that she's one of those poop doctors. Man, what do you basically finding out that a whole lot of what you have going on is in your gut. And so she'll examine
kind of like soil.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of the issues that you have outside in your gardens or farm, whatever it is all soil issues. And again, with your body, like a lot of the issues you may or may not have are due to the microbial life within your digestive tract.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, what she's talking about is that this bifidobacteria, there are so many correlations between that bacteria and its population in your gut and your chronic health conditions that you may be dealing with. And what she found out is a lot of these old folks that are, maybe if you look at what they're doing and they check their stool samples, they find out that this bacteria is in high populations out there. So you want to be eating fermented food, preferably stuff that you made, because that beneficial bacteria is going to stay in your gut, especially if it's in your region. So when you buy that yogurt in the store, folks, you don't know where that came from. You want to get it within your region. And I mean, very close in your region, because it's I'm glad you used the compost pile, because it's like using compost from Connecticut here in North Carolina. The microbes are going to do good one season and then they're done. Whereas if you got some BioComplete compost right around here, it's going to stay there as long as you don't do something stupid. So the same, man, that was a great example, son. Good job.
Oh, thanks.
Of all the things that apply in your gut or in your soil, the same thing applies in your gut. So that's exactly what you want to have happen. Did you take anything in particular away from Dr. Hazen?
That connection is like, oh, once again, there's a lot of, I'm noticing the more I pay attention to it, there's a lot of correlations with like outside, just in general, like nature in general, and your internal like body systems. Like both need light, both need the proper aerobic microbial activity, things like that. And then if you set those things up, if the conditions are correct, then everything kind of takes care of itself. Like if you have a good like overall system, then you're going to be healthy.
And then you're finding out the things that ruin those bacteria in your gut is going to be, why do you think they're giving you all GMOs, folks?
Why do you think you're given so many prescriptions?
That's a really good point. And that's a good way to knock down that really awesome bacteria that you have inside you. So here's another one I want to try to get on the show in the future. So next up in the lineup at this thing was Joel Salatin, of course, and he did one of the best presentations, notwithstanding one issue that I take issue with, and I think you as well. Joel was critical of conspiracy theorists out there not realizing that everybody at that conference is what you might call a conspiracy theory, or basically people that don't believe the BS from the mainstream. Outside of that, I thought he hit it out of the park.
I thought that was, outside of that one point, I thought that was the best speech I've ever seen of his. I mean, we see him at most of these homestead. We typically go to the same like conferences and festivals, and I think this one was by far his best one. And it's one thing to say like, hey, these are conspiracies I don't know a whole lot about. I haven't checked them out. I don't know if they're legit or not. And that's perfectly fine to say that. But to discredit it because it's a conspiracy theory, or it was.
He didn't do himself any favors.
No.
He didn't do himself any favors when a lot of what he's covering, I mean, like, dude, you're talking about conspiracy and government all the time when it comes to our food system. So I don't think he won any fans there on that point, and I was a little bit disappointed with.
He did until that point.
Yeah, he was doing very well up until that point, and I'm like, there are a lot of boomers out there, folks, that know now. Notwithstanding the people that are listening right now to this podcast, but one of my biggest. I had a friend of mine say that I think there is a collective curse over most of the people in the boomer generation, because no amount of evidence can shatter a faith consciously based on a lie. I don't know what it is with a lot of baby boomers out there, but they will not see the truth no matter how much evidence you present. And sadly, in some areas, there's a lot of people that just won't see it no matter what. And I wish he would have stuck around a little bit. Not that it would have made a difference, but when you hear Dr. Group and some of the others talk about the unimpeachable evidence of what they're doing right now, I don't know how. And then Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is funny because she came up after him, and I think she kind of took him to the mat a little bit when they were asking about COVID. And I'm sure a lot of people in this audience know about Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and she was talking about how there's zero accountability in this failed system.
Yeah.
And she had been calling this whole thing out from day one. And it was funny because I was looking at Joel's reaction when somebody asked the question to Sherry Tenpenny, like, why did they do COVID?
Can you say the name?
Sherry, yeah, I can say her name. Yeah, Dr. Tenpenny. And I was looking at Joel's response when they asked her straight up, what was the purpose for COVID? And she said it was population. She didn't even think about it. No, she asked a rhetorical question saying, can anybody in here tell me what the purpose of COVID was? She's asked the question, not actually seeking an answer. It was part of her response. And she said it was straight up population reduction, especially the so-called protocols that came through Trump administration. Okay. And the other one that followed.
And Joel's reaction was he did like a little tinfoil hat on top of his head like that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Which he was kind of making a light joke out of it, but he
was in the wrong crowd for that, man. He did not. I mean, he could have won over the whole place had he not done any of that stuff. But I'm like, okay, good night. You got one of the foremost leaders out here. I didn't see that. Apparently, I must have been looking away at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, dude, you clearly didn't read the crowd in this place, because everybody in that place, without a doubt, is on board, understanding. You wouldn't even know about Dr. Bryan Ardis if you didn't watch the Water documentary or some of the others.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, she's been a hero in this space for a long, long time, and she knocked it out. So that was day one. So that was Thursday, and boy, that was a long day for me because I got up at 3 a.m. And then next day, you had Dr. Janice Schmidt, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I didn't really know much about her before this conference, but she's cool. I think of all of them, her and Ardis were my favorites.
Yeah, you can't help but love Dr. Ardis. Well, the Healing for the Ages, it stands for Ardis, Group, Ely, and Schmidt. And Dr. Schmidt, Janice Schmidt, wonderful children. Even her children got on stage, and I even got to talk to one of them. I mean, man, he's into rescuing kids from child trafficking, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, Dr. Schmidt talked about, they spoke a couple of times, but one of the things that I thought, well, why don't you start with what you take away from Dr. Schmidt?
So Dr. Schmidt, I actually learned this after, what I'd learned from her was the muscle testing. I thought that was pretty cool, and I still need to practice with it and like suss it out and stuff like that. Cause I still don't, I trust them, and I'm thinking, this stuff is probably legit. And the way she explained it and the science behind it seemed legit, as far as like you're communicating basically with your fascia, doing the sway test for muscle testing. But she did an awesome explanation and like a demonstration as far as like the point behind it. It didn't work on Dad. Well,
no, I'm the one guy on that stage who didn't.
So yeah, that was actually, I think that was good because it caused Dr. Ardis to later then make the statement that you need to calibrate before doing that. So you have to ask yourself and answer like a question that is true. So like, is my name William? And then you do the sway or the sway test or the muscle testing in general. You have to find out that you're calibrated first before you progress after that. So there's a chance that you may not have been calibrated, but also the muscle testing doesn't say that whatever this product and I know some of you guys are probably wondering what it even is muscle testing. We'll probably talk about that go into further depth about that later, but it's just because you get like a negative result from whatever you're trying to test doesn't mean that it's bad for you. It just means your body doesn't need it in that moment. But Dr. Ardis went in further and was talking about like everything he uses the muscle testing for. It's not just like, should I eat this or do I need this supplement? He goes through and is like, he uses it for a lot of things, a lot of questions. It's only yes or no. So it's not like, which supplement should I take? And then you're going to start leaning towards the supplement. Actually, I don't know. It might work.
Well, it could.
It might work like that.
But this is another little superpower that the good Lord has given, it seems, all of us to some extent or another, to where whether or not something is good or bad for you.
I was wondering if this is casting lots. Like, how it talks about it in scripture where it's like it. And I know like the priests in like Leviticus were given like these two die or something similar to that. But I wonder if this is something similar to casting lots. I don't know.
I don't think that is. I think that's something totally different. I think this has to do with the fact that our bodies are fundamentally, the Lord has given us more abilities than the powers that shouldn't be want us to know about. We have way more inside of us. And that's the empowerment that you walk away from when you go to things like this, and that you realize, hold on, you mean I can go there into a store, pick up, let's say what they're calling the organic tomato, hold it up to my body, and then your body will have a visceral reaction as to whether or not you should consume this.
But it's not that crazy.
No, it is to mainstream. If you do this in the mainstream medical model, they will say that it doesn't seem crazy if you realize that the good Lord has given us more than just these 5 senses.
But okay, so you're sheep out here. You have a mineral thing out there with a bunch of divided minerals. You don't have to tell the sheep which ones to get, but they know which ones to get, and it's basically doing the same thing with yourself.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where Dr. Schmidt talked about it. And then also was able to ask her about some of the shungite panels that I got from her and regarding my bees and, the best way. I did get particular enjoyment out of Dr. Ardis. I can't even say his name. Okay. Well, hopefully I get away with Dr. A. I'll call him that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
his name.
Well, there was a lot of people up there that were monologuing like nobody's business. They get up to the Q&A thing and then they want to tell their life story, not realizing there's 30 other people behind you. So he got up there the next day and he's like, man, hey, y'all, I don't want to hear your stories. Just ask the question. And I'm glad he was as frank as he was, because it was completely out of control, man.
Yeah.
People get up to that mic and I'm like, do you not realize there's like 20 other people behind you? I mean, come on. Anyway, Dr. Schmidt was fantastic. We're going a little bit long in the tooth, so I'm going to kind of condense what some of the other things out here. And this is, so Dr. Group, he okay.
Now we're in the title of the episode.
Yeah. So he's talking about some of the ancient healing secrets. Now, this may go in a little bit in the deep area. He's talking about cosmic lovemaking. Man, had me cracking up. I thought it was a comedy routine for the most part. And I'm like, you got to figure, y'all, there were almost no men in this conference.
Yeah.
Almost none.
The comments the old ladies behind me were making were hilarious,
dude. And that's the thing that was blowing my mind, man. Ladies, I don't know what's up with y'all. You go to a conference and y'all are talking the whole time. How do you learn anything? I'm sitting here trying to take in and listen to what's being said, and I'm in the front row, and I'm like, how on earth are they taking anything away from this, man? They won't quit talking.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I was, at 55, man, I was one of the younger people there. So anyway, Dr. Dr. Group talked about cosmic.
So the takeaway that I got from Dr. Group is that like marital relations are nothing like what like people are forced to see at this point. It's forced to see in like porn and everything like that. It's not supposed to be anything like that. It just put a further stamp on that for me.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, what they're showing us is not, which he was saying was like that form of, marital relations is like a parasympathetic response? Like it's almost as that like you're going through a violent act.
Yeah. I mean, if everything, once again, y'all, everything that you're presented is a pathological lie. I mean, that's exactly what these people are, and they want us weak. So I think some of that is self-evident. But anyway, Dr. Ely, he got on there and he had a different way of meditating. And I'm glad that he brought this up, because I had talked about meditation and how I was, it was a big part of my life. Even in Psalm 1, it says, and his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Yeah, in the law of the Lord, day and night. Okay. So you can extend that also to other things where, how many times are you spending thinking about things that are very negative? When you're in meditation, and Dr. Ely, he had a different way of going about it. I'd never learned this method before, but it made sense to me. And it was helpful after going through the exercise. So it also made me think, okay, man, I really need to spend more time doing this. And then there was another thing where the proper way to hug somebody, where you put heart over heart.
Yeah. And
so of all things, he said, okay, we're going to do this exercise and we're going to practice hugging. And I'm like, come on, man.
So during the hug thing, I'm sitting in the back because it's assigned seating. I'm surrounded by all these old women. They said, hug someone you don't know. All these old women just turned right at
So is that one you got paired up with?
I got paired up with a few because apparently I was like surrounded by a group of women that all kind of knew each other, or they were saying they all knew each other. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got paired up with Dr. Artis, and I didn't realize how tall he was. So, I'm 5'10". He's got to be, I don't know, 6'3", maybe.
Taller than me, and I'm 6'1". He's big. He's taller than 6'3".
Okay, so 6'4". So we look at each other like, man, this is all I got. He said, don't pair up with anybody you know. So he and I are on the front row. I look over at Dr. Judy. She was my first one to try to hug, and she already had a partner. I look over at Dr. Artis, and I'm like, nah. And I know he was thinking the same thing. So I'm like, hey, I guess it's us. So anyway, he says, all right, y'all, here's how you hug one another, because your heart coherence and all this other stuff. So you put heart over heart. He says, now hold it there. And what did he say? Hold it until
the other person relaxes.
Until the other person relaxes. Man, the two of us, I'm like, so he hugs me and I'm hugging him. And I'm like, dude, this is kind of awkward. So he's hugging me. And because he's so tall, he's reaching down to hug me. I said, Dr. Artis, I'm going to say the gayest thing I ever said in my life. He says, okay. I said, dude, your beard's tickling me. And even he busted out. I said, dude, your beard's tickling me, man. You want to move your head out the other way? He's like, so anyway, it did put a big emphasis to me on, the need to really spend time not thinking or talking or so much negativity going around right now. In fact, I had no idea what was going on into the world until today. And then finally, Dr. Ardis, I guess I might as well say it anyway. I won't say his whole name. Maybe they'll let us keep this video up. One of the big things, remember, the title of this thing was Make Yourself Healthy Again. That was like the subtitle of the Healing for the Ages conference this time out. And that's what every bit of this stuff was designed to do, for you to go in a grocery store from Dr. Schmidt. Okay, should I buy these vegetables? Do they make sense? Is it really organic? Does my body rejecting it? Here's how you test for it, right there on the spot. Okay, everything was all about that. How to make yourself healthy again. And Dr. Ardis spent an enormous amount of time for 2 days straight telling you about all the lab tests and how useless they are in the mainstream medical model. And then the following day, talking about that no matter whatever so-called diagnosis they give you, you don't have a high blood pressure problem. Maybe you're not eating enough salt.
He summed it up with, never in existence have you ever had like a Zoloft deficiency.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You never had any of these problems. Your natural human body has a natural solution to everything that's going on in you. It's either your environment, and which 9 times out of 10, it's that. It could be what you're eating. It could be your habits. It could be any number of things. And it was amazing how many natural solutions in their own literature.
Yeah.
In the literature of the mainstream medical model that is known to heal every single ailment out there. And that's what you walk away with.
But not just that these natural remedies heal or that they work, but in their own words are saying is far superior to the name brand or even generic prescription.
Not only that, but also had no contraindications, meaning that your body had no negative response to eating, let's say, cinnamon or any number of other things out there. I mean, I was amazed at how many times cinnamon popped up on the list.
Cinnamon, it popped up a lot.
Yeah. Or, I mean, there's just so many things out there. And this is something that, believe it or not, you can go through a search engine and find. But everybody comes down with whatever. They give you this diagnosis. They tell you, oh, you can't cure type 2 diabetes. Oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
Or you can't cure this. You can't cure that. No, that's not true. And that's why I'm saying, if you overlay the work of Dr. Jack Kruse and get the fundamentals right, and then fill in the gaps with what you learn from these guys, which you ought to be doing anyway. We all should to some extent or another. I was remembering how good I was doing with my, I had talked in my last video about my prayer life and how every single time I drink water, I'm using it as an opportunity to get down on my knees and pray. And so I'm like, okay, if I got to drink 1.5 gallons of water every day for me, well, that's a really good time. If I remember every single time I get down to eat, drink, whatsoever you do it for the glory of God. That is a great opportunity for me to stop everything I'm doing and go to that secret place of the Most High, which is talked about in Psalm 91. So that is nobody drinks 1.5 gallons of water all at once.
No.
So it gives you a great opportunity throughout the day to constantly get yourself filled up. And then when you don't do that, you find other things. If your prayer life is on point, everything else seems to fall into balance. And you could also say that to a certain extent with meditation. And he talked about how Dr. Group, he's never seen the man trip because his meditation is right on point. And folks, there's so many different ways you can go about meditating. It could be prayer. I mean, that's what it is for me a lot of times. And, the bottom line is to all of this, remember, the name of this thing was Make Yourself Healthy Again. So whether it's through your choices, through your environment, all these different wonderful ways in which you can fix what's around you, it's there, folks. And that's why we went there. I call this continuing education. Yeah, when tickets to an event like this are $1,000 a piece, you better shoot in the right direction. But part of it is I am literally trying to get this information to William as well, so we can pass it on to you. And folks, we're not done talking about the things we learned here.
No.
But there's also a great deal that we need to apply as well.
Yeah.
I will say, of all the conferences I've ever been into in my life, as far as the food,
this was the best.
This was on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Every single thing was absolutely better than organic. Salad was fresh. I mean, folks,
The best chili I think I've ever had.
I don't know if I've ever had better chili in my life, and I couldn't believe it.
Right.
The chili was fantastic. You
think chili and you're like, all right, this is an easy cop out meal. No, this was off the hook.
No, I thought, man, chili.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm thinking, okay. I took a bite of it. I'm thinking, man, if it's just some real acidic chili, we'll go to some place across the street or something, and go get something to eat. Man, I went back. Once everybody got what they wanted, I went back, got me another bowl. And then they had them corn, like big cat head biscuits.
Yeah, those were good. No. That was were cornbread.
Well, it looked like one of them cat head biscuits, the way they had it done. Anyway, I mean, I loved it. It was
like a cornbread muffin almost.
And I had zero reaction to anything I ate there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was another cool thing, was that they focused on making sure the food was actually like clean and healthy for you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what was the point of all this if we're going to go eat some poison during lunch and dinner?
Man, I am blown away. I mean, and then for lunch, man, yesterday they had ribeye, or day before yesterday.
Salmon, ribeye.
Well, it was yesterday.
And then chicken. No.
Or day before yesterday. Yeah. It was fish and ribeyes, all you can eat. I'm like, man, I never ate so much in my life. Well, that ain't true. In my recent life, I sat there eating this stuff like my belly button was touching my backbone, man. I was like, what? And they got leftovers. I mean, you can go back for seconds. I was like, as soon as everybody got done, man, I went back, got me another piece of steak. But I will say, of all the conferences I've ever been to, man, that food was on point.
Yeah. Two takeaways that I didn't mention earlier that I would like to mention is the Justin, what was his last name? Dr. Justin Franson.
Yeah.
Franson. Me, Emily, and the baby slept with that EMF bag.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And that was some of the best sleep we've had in a long time. Like, Emily fell asleep instantly. June, I didn't even hear her all night.
Did you bring it with you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then me, like you know how like you go through the night and you wake up a couple of times and adjust. I fell asleep, and then the next thing I knew, I was waking up for this morning. And that was awesome. And then also Dr. Schmidt, the muscle testing. Everybody know about that appeal stuff that they're putting on apples now. Muscle testing will suss that out. So if you grab one of the apples that has that appeal layer on it, you can do the muscle testing with it, and it'll tell you if it's an apple with appeal applied to it. Because there's a question of whether or not they're going to have to label that it's covered and coated in appeal, which is ridiculous that there's even a debate about whether or not it should be labeled. If it's good for you, there shouldn't be an issue with it being on the title. Why are you trying to hide that there's appeal on the apples?
And then when you find out what's in that appeal, folks, I don't want nothing to do with this food system as much as I possibly can. That's precisely why, going right back to the Sovereign Health Summit, folks, that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. It's a big motive for all of this, because I am sick and tired of this system. Our politicians are screwing us over 30 ways to Sunday, even the ones that everybody was I told you from day one, Trump was going to be in there and screw everybody over. And you're seeing it. I mean, over and over and over again. I do find it curious. I'm going to say this. I remember now what I was going to say before. We got November 1st. Apparently, they're knocking out the SNAP benefits. I know there are people out there abusing this, but I also know there's a whole lot of old folks out there that need it as well. Folks that have spent their whole lives doing what was in the best interest of the people around them in this country. Yeah, I find it absolutely disgusting that we got all the money in the world for warfare. Ain't never no debate about that. But you got a debate over whether or not we got veterans sleeping on the street, people missing an arm, and debating whether or not they're 100% disabled.
Yeah.
We got that kind of stuff going on here. We got all the money in the world. We can give all the money in the world to Israel and Egypt and Jordan, I think. You're telling us you got rid of all this other stuff, but meanwhile, we got money for them. But meanwhile, we got people that are, if it doesn't happen, they are intentionally trying to burn this country down.
But look at the percentage of the money that actually goes to SNAP benefits. It's so small and minuscule. It's not going to change.
This is why if I ever find myself in an elevator with Sean Hannity or Ben, I can't think of that.
Carson?
No.
Yahoo?
No, the guy that wears the little hat on the back. Can't think of his name.
Oh, yeah.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I ever find myself in an elevator with either one of them, folks, hang it up. You can go ahead and send my mail to the county jail because I'm putting both of them through a 5-minute flurry of fists. Because when you sit here and you go on about the welfare mom, but you ain't got nothing to say about the welfare banker, the warfare banker is what I should call him. When you look at social welfare compared, I'm not saying any of it's right, but there are folks struggling right now. You look at all the money that we give to corporate welfare and overlay that with social welfare, there is no comparison. It dwarfs social welfare. But all you hear Hannity and them talking about is the welfare mom. But you got nothing to say about all these welfare bankers. Got nothing to say and the tune at which we've been bailing them out forever and a day. Got nothing to say about them. And it is right there, black and white. Social welfare is minuscule compared to what we pay in corporate welfare. But you got nothing to say about that. Anyway, that's what burns me up is that we got all the resources in the world to give everybody an opportunity to buy clean food. I'm not saying don't look, you want to eat junk, that's your business. That ain't my concern. You want to eat junk, you go knock yourself out. But you should have access to clean food. If you can go in that grocery store and every single thing you pick up is garbage, I mean, folks, this is exactly why we're out here doing this continuing education, to let everybody know exactly what we're finding out.
I just thought of something. If the government shut down for the moment, shouldn't our taxes lower temporarily?
Yeah, how about that?
Where's the money go? Shouldn't they just drop just a little bit?
No, I mean, that's the thing. They don't even need your tax money. Yeah. Why do you need my tax money when you can print it anyway? Seriously. Why, when all they do is print this money anyway, why do you need my tax money, folks? It's more slave training. Okay. This is, it's straight out of the pages of Marx. This is Communist Manifesto 101. I mean, this is exactly what they're trying to do, but we have a population that is in so many ways just willfully stupid and ignorant. I mean, I don't know I hate to be so crass about it, but honestly, we have people that would prefer to be stupid and die. I was talking to, once again, Ariana Masters talking about, she told me that she had 6 neighbors all die in the last year after having taken the booster.
Yeah.
They all died. And every one of them that came down with cancer, she tried to offer them alternative treatments and access to people. They didn't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
They would rather have died, and they died. There's another person, I almost mentioned her name. She's very well known. Right now has 4 family members, all with very awful diagnoses. Offered all of them opportunities outside the box that might go a long way in fixing them. They would rather die. I don't even understand that. Yeah, Matthew, thank you very much. Simian virus 40. And in fact, that interview that we did with Dr. Judy Micah, that I can't say the end of it, she was the first one to blow the whistle on that in the modern times. Also, Jack Cruz he's done a better job of explaining the history of SV40. But SV40 is in there, folks. It stands for Simian virus 40. Maybe in one of the future podcasts, I'll go into the history of where that even came from and the Cutter event and all these things that mainstream medical model does not want you to know about. Because if you knew about it, it might just heal you and heal those around you, folks. I don't like to be lied to. I'm not going to hear some BS coming off of Fox News and just believe it because it came from Fox News when all those people are as much liar. In fact, they're more insidious liars than the one on CNN's.
Yeah.
Because honestly, people are really thinking that fair and balanced garbage when Fox News is every bit as compromised as all the rest of them. And sadly, so many people, like Ariana was telling me, they're still believing cable news. I don't even understand it at this point.
I don't know how you can watch cable news, right, or cable in general, just TV in general. Every, like Dr. Artist was saying, like every commercial is either about alcohol, prescriptions, or what was the other one? That's a 75% of it right there.
And it's done passively, like he said, and he's right. In every movie, every TV show, you watch them, every single one of them, there will be, and they won't even talk about it. A guy will crack a beer. They're not saying, hey, drink this Bud Light or something like that. It won't be anything like that.
Yeah.
So it'll either be a guy drinking a beer or it'll be a person taking some pills. In every sitcom, they put it out there to where this is normal. They make it normal, and it ain't normal. Folks, this ain't normal. All right. Man, we've gone quite a while longer, and I got to get hugs from my grandbaby before she decides to go to sleep.
It might be a minute.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add, son, regarding this conference?
That was it. Those 2 points earlier was what I wanted to add. That was it. It was awesome, and I'm definitely looking forward to the one next year. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the one we're going to put together now. Look, we ain't going to have no private chefs cooking stuff like that, but we will have food trucks that are balling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then honestly, we're going to do this at a price point that people can actually afford and give you way more value than you ever thought possible, and bring some of the best vendors out there. And we're still working it all out right now, but folks, definitely want to see all of you there. I won't be speaking. I'm going to be putting out fires, because that's what you do when you do these types of things. Anyway, y'all, I want to thank everybody for checking us out today. I know there's so many things you could be doing with your time, but you're hanging out with us, and you're listening, and you're hanging out and doing all these wonderful things. Hopefully this was a blessing to you. Until next time, stay alert, stay alive.
Learn a new thing, channel and nature, let the knowledge ring, with roots that run deep, wisdom from soul, burn across the stream, let the ideas unfold. I'm grooving with the truth, truth, truth. Feeling nature's groove. Who's got the answers? All we need to do, listen to the earth, they've got us through. Let's see the change, watch the world spin, from the smallest sprout to harmony begin. In the cycle of life, where the magic's alive, tune it to the beat, feel the